Welcome to the Connectedness Podcast, where we explore what it truly means to feel connected to ourselves, to others, and to the deeper currents of life. Today's guest is someone I've been wanting to have on the show. I actually just met Fabi, but I've been wanting to have somebody like her on the show for a while. Fabi Preslar has been married for 39 years. And not only that, she and her husband work together full time, which means they don't just share a home, they share a mission, a business, and a daily life. She's the author of Wilted and Worthy, Essays of Holding On, Letting Go, and Living Fully, a deeply reflective collection on exploring the seasons of becoming, unraveling, healing, and grace. I've always been curious about couples who don't just stay married, but they stay connected. I've always wondered, what is their secret? What changes over the decades? And how do you grow without growing apart? Today, we're going to dive into all of this. Fabi, welcome to the podcast.
It's great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. So Fabi, let's take us back 39 years.
Oh my.
Who were you, and when did you get married?
Who was I? Well, I was 21 years old. I was trying to step into a career, and I had just been hired by McClatchy at the Charlotte Observer, and I did not want a relationship. I was ready to start my career. Unfortunately, the universe and whatever had a difference in opinion at the time. I met my husband on my job interview.
Wow.
Yeah, he
Okay.
was working at the Charlotte Observer, and I had just been hired there. We were touring, and they brought me to his department, which we would be working with, and we weren't working in the same department. And when our eyes met, it was like lightning bolts from our feet to the top of my head. And I knew that I needed to get away from this person because he was going to change my life. And he had a similar experience, and he turned around and told his boss that was working with him at the time, and said that that's the gal I'm going to marry.
Oh,
so, so anyway, a few months later, we were indeed married.
a few months later.
Yeah, 6 months actually. Yeah.
Wow. Wow, that's amazing. And
Yeah.
it's just for me, it's such a beautiful story to see you guys knew immediately, you met in a work context, but that
Mhm.
didn't stop you guys from, developing this beautiful relationship. What like when people ask you the secret to a long marriage or a long
Mhm.
successful marriage, what's the first thing that comes to your mind?
Respect and daily laughter.
Good.
So, I mean, you got to like each other, right? Love is a great, beautiful part of that, but you also have to like each other, and being friends, liking each other, respecting each other, having the hard conversations. Oh my gosh, there's so many hard conversations over the years, and just finding something to laugh at every day together.
Yeah, does he tell you jokes, or like what are you guys laughing at?
No, we just do stupid stuff. You know, he's not like a comedian, but the laughter comes from seeing the absurd in the ordinary, just being able to have fun with each other, poking fun at each other. If somebody steps out of line or does something just crazy. So
Oh.
it's just general humor. It's not like, written jokes or anything like that. Because I don't think either one of us can remember a joke. It's just genuine laughter.
Well, that's so sweet. I sometimes, like, my husband makes me laugh, and sometimes he doesn't because we have
Oh yeah,
different
sometimes they
sense
make you scream. Yeah.
sense of humor. Is I think we have different sense of humor, but and
Yes,
I joke. I think he thinks he's funny. You know what I mean?
of course.
And I always think I'm hilarious. So
Of course.
we're both. So what would you think is a big misconception that people might have about long-lasting marriages?
Oh, that you meet each other, you fall in love, and it's, clear sailing from there. It's not. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of personal growth. It's a lot of growing up together.
Hmm.
It's a lot of facing some really hard times and challenges together and being able to talk about it, to, share your actual feelings and just kind of work through them. But it's a constant ongoing growth process.
Okay. And in you mentioned there were hard times.
Mhm.
Like we're there. Not that we want to get into the nitty gritty of the dark times, but we know that every relationship has dark times. But was there
Yeah.
a time where you felt like it might just be easier to walk away, or
No, not really, but we've had really hard times. Like once it was his mother um was in the hospital in her last days, and it happened to be our anniversary, so
mhm,
we just in the, between the tears, we found ways of laughing and promised each other we would probably do something more exciting next year. It's
mhm,
just being silly, and cheered with a bag of chips or something that was in the concessions, so it's just making the most out of every moment and knowing that some of those hard moments are made better just by the two of you being together and being able to lift and support each other.
oh, that's so beautiful. And
But
and
yeah,
how
there have been a lot of hard times. So
I
death
bet.
parent, parents dying, serious illnesses, between us, and just different things. Yeah.
Do you feel, and this is, do you feel like these harder times have actually brought you guys closer together?
Yeah, because you open up your heart, you open up your soul, and you
Hmm.
have to be very vulnerable during those times. And when someone respects that, or someone is in kind of the same boat, you're going through that same experience and can talk about it and share it. And sometimes there's not really a conversation about it. There's an understanding, and just the touch on your back, on your shoulder, just to let each other know that, yeah, it's hard, but I'm right here with you. So whatever
Hmm.
you need.
Yeah, like that, just hearing you talk about it is making me feel like, yeah, this is really where the glue of the marriage comes to play. Is
Mhm.
they are not, at least, and who am I to talk about marriage or being an expert on marriage? But like at least with my husband, I feel like we're family to each other, and we support each other through the hard times.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
and I think there's a level of trust in there too, where it's like I trust that I'm safe in being vulnerable with him. Like,
Yes.
do you feel
Yeah.
that way too? With
Absolutely. And just being able to share those times, but also celebrate the good times together. So it can't just be all that, your partner is just great at dealing with the hard times, but
yeah,
they are to celebrate each other and each other's wins and successes. And, when one wins, it's like the both of us win, or it's really one of us celebrating the other and not trying to have our moment while it's his moment. There's a lot of give and take.
give and take. Which,
Yeah.
when you're talking about celebration, how does this play into your professional life? Because it sounds like you guys work together and have been working together for a really long time. Like, how did you
Yes. Yeah.
decide to work together?
Well, it was a process. So I had started Spark Publications home base, and he was doing great work at his corporate career. And I was starting to grow the firm, and I thought, wow, it was sure would be great if we worked together. And he was like, no. And he needed to continue shining in his corporate job. And so it was 10 years later
Okay.
that things started changing at his job. And he and I just really, really set all our cards on the table, and, what would be hard, what would be harder, what would be even harder as far as entrepreneurship, and, what are things that we can work together on. And we just went through a whole onboarding process as well. So, we had a contract, and we had job descriptions, like what he's going to be responsible for and what I'm going to be responsible for, because he took my job.
Wow.
So
Okay.
I was the creative director and he came on board as the creative director. So, we really had to create those boundaries.
That actually was going to be my next question, but you already answered it. It was about boundaries and how,
Yes,
like, how did you protect your marriage from the business, I guess. Part the
we
boundaries you've
did.
already talked about, but the marriage
Yeah.
part maybe we
Well,
could.
it's all lumped in together in a little bit, but yeah, so boundaries are boundaries. So we
Yeah.
have our work boundaries, and it was harder for me than it was for him to have those work boundaries because as an entrepreneur, I'm always having brilliant thoughts and I could talk about business like anytime, but that's not the case for him. He really needs that separation.
Mm,
And so if we are home, and I have a question about something, brilliant that just popped into my head or want to share something, then I give him the courtesy of asking, is this an okay time to ask a business question?
mm.
Or I've got an idea. Is this okay time to talk about it? And he has said no. There are times he's like, yeah, not right now. I'm really wanting to, just stay decompressed or do something. And then I'm like, ah.
So,
So,
so then, like, do you write it down for later and then bring up the brilliant idea the next day?
oh, who knows? Yeah, another one will pop in. But no, we'll talk about it, or he'll let me know, or we'll say, let's just talk about this tomorrow morning or something like that. So
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just different. He doesn't say no too often because he knows that it's going to be in my head the whole time anyway.
Mm.
So
And I
but yeah,
mean,
it is establishing those
yeah.
boundaries, and those boundaries also came with the job descriptions. So
Mm,
there are things he has final say on, and there are things that I have final say, and that way there aren't business arguments because we know where each other's lane is and who gets to make final call.
right. And it's just the two of you, or do you have employees?
No, no, we have a full team, and then to keep things nice and complicated, we also hired our daughter.
Oh, great. Okay, it's family
Yeah.
business.
Well, it became that, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, congrats that you're making it work. And do you ever, like you just said, there aren't that way there aren't any business arguments because the roles are defined.
Mhm.
Would you say that you all, but outside of business, do you guys have like personal, fighting or arguments, and
Oh
how
gosh, we're deep, deep fighters. So we fight deep and fast, so and we do because I'm hot-tempered and he's just a really nice guy, but he's a volcano person, so he lets it build up, and then yeah. So, there's a time where my head's hot and his volcano goes, and then we just say what needs to be said. But that's been our rule from the very beginning. Say what needs to be said, then let's deal with it. And then, an hour the next day, there's not that residual stuff. So we get it out. And sometimes it's insane and ugly, just like anybody else. But
Mhm.
the fact is whatever the authentic feelings were at that time, or what feelings I stepped on or squashed or, hurt him or by doing something or saying something, it gets discussed. And there's not that retaliatory weirdness like you hear some things that destroy other couples. It's like we lay it out there.
Yeah,
So we call it fighting quick and fast. I
quick
mean,
and fast.
fighting deep and fast. Yeah, just get it out there, get it done, and then move on.
That's
So,
so. I mean, so I think that's kind of you just touched upon something that I think trips up a lot of relationships, whether they're
yeah,
new relationships or even 20-year marriages.
yeah.
Like, is the how to handle conflict, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
and I don't know that most of us are born knowing how to do this properly, and a lot of us have poor modeling from our parents when it comes
Yeah.
to handling conflict.
Yeah, my parents didn't argue.
No? Okay.
And then everything blew up and they divorced.
Yeah.
So, I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want that kind of relationship. And his parents didn't really argue either, but everything was less complex with them, you
Mm.
know? Um, yeah. So
Yeah.
it's important not to play games with each
Mm.
other's emotions. It's important not to hide how you're feeling, but to be able to have time, respectful time for the two of you to really discuss it. It's like, hey, I know you were just joking, but man, that was hurtful.
Mm.
It's like, what? It's like, yeah, that just really cut to the core of me. And it's just like, well, why would it do that? I mean, yes, there'd be times he'd say, well, you should just get over that. And I'm like, well, it's not that easy because it actually hurt my feelings this way. And then it pissed me off. And then you talk about it. And sometimes that does create an argument because one of us doesn't understand. But we always know that the end goal is to respect. We're not
Yeah.
always agreeing, but to respect what the other person feels or is going through, and then make sure it gets back to we're okay and we get back to just truly loving each other. And yeah, sometimes feelings stay hurt for a little bit,
Yeah.
but then we just give each other space to let each other just process however.
Mm.
And then, just end it out with a hug. It's like, okay, so it's been a couple hours. I'm just going to say, I apologize again and just give a big old bear hug, you know?
Yeah. Oh, that's so sweet. And I'm guessing maybe forgiveness comes easily when
No, it's not easy, but
no?
it's something that you need to do,
Yeah.
you
It's
know?
it's a choice, right?
It's a choice. Yeah. And, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And that comes in a lot. It's like, oh, no, I want to be both because, I have a very intense personality. And yes, I want to control. Yes, I want to be right. And yes, I want to be happy too. But it doesn't work that way. So sometimes you just have to realize we are not on the same page on this, but I respect your viewpoint. And it doesn't have to be my viewpoint. And I just know that I love and respect this person
Mm-hmm.
and, give each other space to be the individuals that we are.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. So tell me a little bit about your book, Wilted and Worthy. And I'm
Oh,
guessing
yeah.
based on what you said earlier, you might have written multiple books, right?
This is my third. Yeah.
Third, okay.
Wilted and Worthy is my third.
Yeah.
And
It,
I tell you what, we have a little time. I don't know how many questions you have, but
yeah.
I have an essay in here that I
Okay.
think would be helpful. It's called Fractured Attachments.
Okay. Yeah, let's
Okay.
go.
All right. We build and build, imagining we're creating a network to sustain us, fuel us, grow with us, and for us. We pour time, hope, and heart into relationships we believe will last. But then comes the cracks, the unraveling, the exfoliating of what we thought was permanent. It hurts. It shakes our pride, our soul, our ego. We ask ourselves, what were we building if it could fall apart so easily? The people we once considered foundational now feel like strangers, distant, indifferent, or even cold. It's hard to let go when someone blocks the path, when they no longer wish to be in the circle that you thought was unbreakable. And yet, when the detachment becomes complete, a clarity begins to settle in. You see that the connection you were clinging to was already shifting, already fading. Time, gently and consistently, begins to release you from those fractured attachments. And in their place, new energy, new people, a new tribe that honors your becoming. Only now do you begin to see life has as it truly is, a cycle. People, flowers, bees, they come and go as they must, for themselves and for you. Letting go isn't failure, it's nature, it's movement, and it's your chance to continue without losing yourself.
Hmm.
And that was written after a series of relationships, friendships that seem to just kind of evaporate. And it's painful.
Yeah.
But then when you start realizing it's a cycle,
Yeah.
none of these words weren't meant for like, the way that you want to build your true married relationship because you don't try to just let it go, but you try to really work through it and to grow it.
This was beautiful and very relevant to a lot of the stuff I talk about with regards to friendships and
Yes.
um, almost like a filtering process, if you will, and not filtering in a way to get everybody out of your life, but just selecting the people who are there to stay versus the people who are okay to let go of, right? And with the book, it's not your Wilted and Worthy. It's about holding on, letting go, becoming, living fully, and worthiness, even in wilting.
Yes.
I've got a few questions on the book, but I'm also super curious about why did you choose to write this book? And I definitely want to talk about the wilted and like wilting worthiness concept.
Okay.
Uh,
So I had gone through cancer treatments and
okay,
recovery.
okay.
And during that time, people would bring you flowers and they would start to wilt. And naturally, people just wanted to go ahead and throw them out. But I started seeing a different beauty in the way
Mm,
some of the flowers would curl and their edges would just brown a little bit. And it's like they just became a different type of flower. It was
mm,
just a beauty in a different way.
mm,
And then I was seeing that in nature in just a lot of different ways. And so I started photographing it just with my iPhone. And so the photos in the book are all these beautiful things that have evolved and transformed as they were wilting.
mm,
And so it's a new beauty. And that came from going through and, healing through that. And then the book was written a few months after my father passed away. So we had his diagnosis, and then his death was just like 9 months. And it was just a challenging time then. And I had relationships that were kind of fading and falling apart or just going away. And so there was a lot of grief. And then through meditation and some automatic writing, that's when these beautiful essays started coming in as answers to questions that I had. And
wow.
all of them were handwritten out, and these beautiful answers were coming through. And they were very soothing and healing and brought great awareness to me. And as I read a couple to my mom and a few other people, they were like, these are really, really deeply introspective and healing. And
Mm,
so, to honor all of the ones that were written, I packaged them up just in an absolutely beautiful book. And then I felt like all of that was given to me. And so I didn't want to sell it for myself to monetize it that way. So I sold it, and all the proceeds, every penny has gone to Radiant Chapters Collective, which is a nonprofit that helps underserved and underrepresented entrepreneurs publish their books.
oh wow, I never heard of that nonprofit, but that's awesome. That's awesome. Is the would you say your book is a collection of essays, or is it like a memoir, or is it
No, it's a collection of
collection of
essays
essays,
and photos.
photos? Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I
So it's a
haven't.
like a coffee table gift book.
Oh, how
Yeah.
beautiful. How beautiful. Is when you think about you were just talking about the moments in your life, and I'm really sorry for your loss and everything you guys went through with your health, and like when you were feeling wilted, how
Mhm.
did the concept of worthiness play into this?
Because the wilting is an evolution. So
Mm,
even you see it in nature, you experience it yourself. There are times where you're not full of youth and perkiness, but that wilting brings on and exposes a whole new level of maturity and worthiness.
mm,
So there you get to a certain age and, relevancy and, what's next. I mean, all those things are part of it. And to be able to have those essays that actually celebrate this whole transformation that all of us, if we're fortunate, will get to go through the aging process and
Mm-hmm.
becoming something a little bit more elevated and evolved than what we were the year before, the months before. So, in the wilting does not mean the end. It's an
Mm,
evolution to something even better and more evolved than what you were prior. So,
that's
worthiness.
beautiful. That's so beautiful. Okay, so talking about your long marriage and and beautiful, example of a couple making it work together, do you feel like both of you have changed dramatically, like over time? And did you just like fall in love with the new versions of yourself, or how do you see that evolution?
It is a constant evolution. So we have re-fallen in love with the people that we have become. We have private renewal ceremonies
Oh,
around our anniversaries. We had gone to a trip to the Bahamas, and there was this really, really cute church there was nobody else there. And so we went and had our own next wedding there, just the two of us, so we just do some fun things that honor the love and the relationship. And it's a constant renewal because as you grow and evolve as a person, the two of you are doing that on your own. And we constantly are checking in and finding what works and what's going to evolve together.
wow, that's so nice. You're giving me ideas for the future.
Oh, good. And honestly, go take long walks together. There's
Yeah.
just nothing more therapeutic. So,
Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good
yeah.
idea. But my hubby and I, Frank, we're gonna have our 12th year anniversary coming up.
Congratulations.
So it's an accomplishment.
Yeah, yes, yes, it is. Every year is. And actually, that 10 to 12 years, those are hard because think about like a 10 and a 12-year-old, how much that child grows and changes. And your marriage is just going through the same thing. So you do have to really compassionately see each other and each other's growths and your own growth in the process. And,
Mm,
it's like, well, try new hobbies individually. So
yeah,
we each
that's
have rich lives apart so that we can, come together. Our hobbies are not the same.
I
He's
love
got like this
this.
VR stuff. I like to paint and, I
Yeah.
mean, we just have different creative hobbies that we like. And then you
Oh,
can have something else to talk about. So, yes, we work together, we play together, we live together, we have fun and vacations together, but in between that, each day or at least each week, we have our times that we do things that is just for us.
so you touched upon a lot of good things that I completely agree. Like having different hobbies, having
Yes,
full lives that are not all about each other, so that
right.
when you do come together, you have something to talk about, and you're interesting to each other, and more fulfilled in general. Um, what would you say for long married couples? That I'm sure maybe you have in your circle of friends people who have been married a long time, maybe got divorced, or
Mhm.
what do they stop doing that they really shouldn't?
Oh, I don't know. Really talking to each other openly
Yeah.
about things that are going on. And, I mean, yeah, sometimes they chew too loud or they crack their knuckles and it makes you nut. It's okay for you to say, that is driving me crazy.
Yeah.
And then there's a decision that's made. They don't care or they continue to
Mm.
do whatever. And then you have to be okay and mature or find a way to step out. I mean, some people don't close closet doors, other people chew with their mouths open. There's just all kinds of insanely annoying things within a marriage that you just need to readjust. And my favorite thing with like the closing doors and not closing doors and stuff like that is that I have this little private thing that I say, one day I'm going to really miss these doors being open,
Hmm.
and it's kind of readjusting. It's like, does it really bother you, or what is it that's really bothering you right now? Oh, it's
Hmm.
not that the cabinet door got left open. It's just the fact that he's not listening to me and paying attention. So, let those kind of weird things be a trigger for what maybe is really going on in the beginning of a good conversation. But honesty, oh my gosh, honesty
Yeah.
is huge. Yeah.
Honest. That's really great advice. Thank you. So it reminding us when we're getting irritated that
Yeah,
the our whatever we're getting triggered by is probably just a surface level thing, and there's something underneath, right? Some kind of need
exactly. Yeah.
that maybe we are not feeling that it's being met right now, or something like that. And then,
Beautiful. Yeah, because when you're eating chips, it's crunching too loud anyway. So if he's doing it and it's just really annoying you, it's like that's not what's really annoying you. Although for me it is because that noise drives me crazy. But you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, one day I'm gonna miss my husband being loud in the kitchen because he's very
Ex-
loud and like he doesn't
Yes.
know quiet. So
There you go.
so
I
one
know that
last
one.
question. If your husband were sitting right here, what would
Mhm.
he say is the real reason as to why your marriage has lasted so long?
I think he'd say this a very similar thing. It's just
Okay.
respect and that we actually like each other and that we laugh together.
Okay. That's nice.
I didn't have that coming into the marriage. I wasn't able to laugh at myself because that's not something that my family did. His, I thought was excessive. But
Mm.
then it just, we found our happy medium to where we could just learn to laugh together about things, something each day, whether we
Oh,
just cut up or just, go, dude, you haven't been out of the house all day. Your hair, what is up with that? Just being able to say silly things that help each other out and not cut each other down. Never cut each other down and never, ever disrespect your spouse in front of somebody else.
right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's some basic respect, and you're in it
Yeah.
together. You're a team, right? So,
We are. It doesn't mean we don't disagree, but yes, we are
mm-hmm,
a team. We're an
mm-hmm.
effective team.
Yes, yes, that's so beautiful. Okay, so Fabi, before I close the episode, are there other things you would like the audience to either follow you on, or yeah, anything you're releasing soon, or anything you would like to announce?
Just, connect with me on LinkedIn. It's Fabi Preslar, and I'm on Facebook as well. I
Hmm.
can't seem to get the hang of Instagram, so I'm there, but not.
Okay, no problem.
And, together as a team, we custom publish really beautiful books that are specialty books and business books and coffee table books, as well as national magazines. So we're a custom publishing firm doing really great work to help you grow your businesses.
That's so cool. Thank you so much. What I love about this conversation is that it reframes longevity not as a perfection, but as an evolution. And marriage isn't about staying in bloom forever, it's about learning how to honor each other in every season, blooming, pruning, and even wilting. Fabi's book, Wilted and Worthy, reminds us that even in our softest, most uncertain seasons, we are still becoming. Fabi, thank you for sharing not just advice but lived wisdom. And to everyone listening, if this episode resonated with you, share it with someone who you're building a life with. Until next time, let's stay connected to yourself and to each other.
Beautifully said.